Okay, I was gonna do this as like a bunch of smaller videos. That way I could. First things first, find your knife. It's always a good thing to have. The giant knife you're gonna use for all this. Okay, anyway, whatever. I'll use this one. I was gonna do this as like a smaller form video, but I'm just gonna do it as really long and try to do it in one take. The only thing I'm missing is green peppers, like bell peppers. Some people like to use red and green, but I mean, I would if I was, you know, had the money. But green peppers it is. But I don't have any. I had them last time, but I forgot them this time. So if I forget anything, I'll mention it as I'm going through. Fun fact, on TikTok, I saw somebody do this when it comes to peeling garlic, and it's like the best way. You take the fat side of the garlic clove, and you just cut straight down all the way. So that way, typically, it all comes off one chunk. And I was going to go on some long drawn thing about making sure you have your mise en place and just have everything in little bowls, so that way you don't need to mess around with the... It's a better way to cook, really, is to have everything just ready to go. But I was like, you know, how am I going to show you this garlic thing that I found out? Which, I swear, this is probably the easiest way to take care of garlic. And it's funny because a lot of times I kind of have a one-track mind. Kind of like, yeah, all the time. And the first couple times I cooked this, you know, I just went straight to following directions, cooking it, whatever. But then after I made it, I was like, oh yeah, forgot to actually taste it while you're making it. Because just like you're making any kind of like stew or anything, fucking taste it. That way you can tell what's missing. But then again, if you're using a lot of these ingredients for the first time and you haven't had this before, which I mean, I guess you did one time, you don't know, you can't pick out everything, essentially. You know, you probably could. I mean, maybe a better taste buds than I do, but after you've had it a few times, it becomes very apparent the levels of everything that's missing and whatnot. I'm gonna do this one last one and then call it enough garlic, because that seems like enough garlic. And I'm tired of cutting garlic, so we'll do that. I mean, you can't really mess this up at all. 90% of everything that you want is in the curry paste. That stuff. Make sure you get this brand. This is the best brand. If you're making it for just one time, you're not gonna make it twice. They sell little cans that are like this big, and you're gonna be like, that's not enough. Turns out it's exactly enough to make it one time. So if you don't want to mess around with, you keep it in your fridge and committing to making it twice, then it'll do just fine. But first thing you always want to cut up is all your aromatics. So garlic, ginger. Definitely, I guess you shouldn't keep ginger in a Ziploc bag. But anyway, does it even smell good still? Yeah. Smells like the fucking swimming pool. Okay. So anyway, I also don't mince my ginger. I keep it a little together because I always like when I'm eating it and I get like a good solid piece of ginger. It makes me smile. But if you don't like ginger, definitely mince it and then put it in there, because you don't want to taste it all at one time. But ginger is fucking awesome. It's like the freshest tasting thing ever. Man, this video is absolutely all in real time. Hilarious. Anyway, as long as my phone doesn't mess up. What else do we need in the beginning? Nothing. That's it. End of list. Because only other thing you need, which I used too much of my lemongrass last time I made it, you're gonna want like, trust me, you're gonna want like 5 things of lemongrass. And it's kind of like corn. It's got a bit of, grows with a bit of a little, kind of a bit of husk on the outside. But you want to get it down where it starts to feel wet. And you're like, okay, cool, this is no longer husk, this is, you know, it kind of grows like an onion though, so it's one of those types of things. So you cut the ends off, cut the other ends off. It's not enough lemongrass. It's alright, it'll be okay. Okay, cool. And then you want to cut it down to little sections, just smaller. That one's fine. Okay. At least you have the liberty to be able to skip around in a video. Didn't even think about that. Never. This is really honestly the first time I ever made a video that's any kind of length. Since we're not going to be cutting any more different vegetables on here, it's quite alright to start doing chicken. But always, whenever you're cutting all the vegetables and everything, if you have bell peppers and whatever else you want to put in here, always save the chicken for last, because then you don't have nasty chicken shit everywhere. And whenever you're cutting, well, anything that's going to be in like a soup or a stew or anything, someone told me once, good chef of mine, favorite chef of mine, I don't know him, Chef Jean-Pierre on YouTube. Let me wash my hands real quick. Okay, anyway, I made this mistake last time and I just realized it. Don't cut your chicken into fucking strips before you pound it. Also, mute it. I'm not going to be saying anything, just pounding on me. Pounding in 3, 2, 1, go. I'm using a good amount of meat because I have to use it. It's also the only reason I decided to spontaneously make this video. I was going to drink one of my muscle milks and go to bed, but I realized this had to be done, so. Okay, that's over. It's done. Okay, now is when you want to check in the video. Okay, cool. Now is when you want to actually cut it into strips. Let me move this all over here, push this out of the way. Now's a good time to get a bowl. That's not gonna hold all the chicken, you say? Yeah, I know, I'm just dumb. I turned on my pan, started heating it up. It's probably a little too early, but it's all good. It'll be all right. It can sit there for a couple seconds or a minute. However long it takes me to cut this up. But anyway, I lost track of what I was saying, as I do. But that chef I watch on YouTube, Chef Jean-Pierre, he's really funny. He's cool. He always says when you're making something, pretty much anything, when people leave things in really big chunks, you gotta remember, someone's gonna be eating this with a fork. Especially if it's a stew or a soup, you're gonna be, you know, make it bite-sized, because it's gotta be able to fit on your fork. And I never had thought about that before, but I'm like, damn, he's right. Wish I had my bigger knife, I just don't know where I put it. Which is funny, because I don't have a lot of things, so I should know where I put it. But yeah, whenever I do this, you gotta make sure you like pulverize the hell out of this chicken. That way it gets real tender as you're cooking it. And just about all the water's popped out of that pan, so it's getting somewhere. This is the messiest cutting of meat I've ever seen. Okay, anyway. Good enough for government work. I don't know why I'm putting it in the bowl. It's about to go right in there. Whatever. Who knows? Okay. Now I'm going to move this. Cool. Okay. Still charging. Great. Okay. Then wash your hands, even though you're going to touch me again. Okay. Now what you want to do, pan's getting pretty hot. Coconut oil. You don't have to, you can use vegetable oil, but if you want to go for that truly authentic situation. I use about 2 tablespoons, or 2 of these spoons. And you just want to get going around until it's mostly liquefied, which won't take, like, what, 30 seconds? And before it gets too popping hot, cool thing is I have to use the rest of this because if you get 2 of these, or you get 1 of the big one, it makes about 2. If you get the little one, it's 1. Like I said, you can do this with really only like half of that. Careful, shit's gonna pop all over you. Then what you want to do, add in your ginger. And the garlic cloves, I take the flat side of this. You can use a big ass knife if you want. You just want to mash them a bit. But don't actually, you know, dice them. Why? I don't know. It's a thing. And then your lemongrass, also, you want to mash them with the flat side. God, I need more lemongrass. I need like 3 times as much lemongrass, but whatever. Use 3 times as much as this. Don't worry, the mallet is going away in a moment. Get those simmering. And just fucking in with the chicken. I use about 60% as much chicken normally. I don't know, a little more than half this. Well, it's 10% more than 50%. I'm a fucking dumbass. Yeah. Accurate measuring here. Measure carefully. Anyway. All the hard stuff's done. Pretty much all of the hard stuff is done, which is stupid. Okay, and I'm gonna let that go for just a minute. And if you're doing rice with it, start it now, because this shit's gonna be done in like 30 minutes. If you're wanting to eat it just immediately. Honestly, I know it'd probably be better if you just let it simmer, like forever. Jasmine rice, by the way. And with rice, 2 cups, so we need 4 cups of water. At this point, I would give it a flip. Oh, whoop! Okay. Okay, good enough. All the rest is going to get done with this. You want to take your coconut milk? That's when the magic happens. again, one of these, actually I never said that. One of these will do you like 2. Make sure you crank the heat up to like, you want it boiling. Very important ingredient, Thai basil. Thai basil needs to be used pretty immediately. And yes, you just want the leaves. I've had this in the fridge for like 2 days, and sorry, you can tell it's like kind of wilted. And the day you get it, it's like, I don't know, they must have come off the fucking boat like immediately, because it smells like if you mixed like licorice and mint. Has a really unique odor and flavor. But I gotta use the rest of it. But I would still use this much in it if you're making it, because you want this shit to taste good. I mean, better than it's going to if you didn't? Question mark? Okay, cool. Once that's there, just fold it in real quick, mash it, get it down in there. Oof, you can smell it immediately, that's awesome. Even though I made an oof noise. That was a oof, that smells good. Okay, you absolutely need Thai chilies. They are very unique tasting. Kind of have like this really more highly acidic flavor to them. Well, all you really get from them is like the heat. They absolutely do not taste like jalapenos. They do not taste like ghost peppers. They taste like their own thing. And I don't know if you can see from there, but I'm literally just going to chop these up and put them in there. That should do. Actually, on hindsight, or is it present sight? Let me use this one. I'm only using this one, so I can do this. And, you know, now that it's at boiling, just keep that going for a little bit. Just so your chicken can cook. Because we're definitely not simmering this for all day. I mean, probably be better if you did. And you want squid brand fish sauce, which you put in any Asian food at all of it, yes. Usually do about that. Make sure you don't use your really old palm sugar. It's probably still good, but I'm gonna throw this away. And they make a different bunch of kinds of palm sugar. I just always buy this one because you want the ones that kind of look like little hockey pucks. And I normally only use one of these, but I'm gonna use two this time just to see how it comes out. Some people super chop them up, but I don't. Just put them in there. They will dissolve like sugar. And lastly, but not least, human brain's like a big AI machine. It's like I had to say that. Cilantro, because you should put this in fucking everything you make. Forever. That's it. And seeing as how my rice maker didn't even say anything to me, it's still spinning. It hasn't decided if it's going to be 30 minutes or not, but it is. So I reduced the heat on this back to not simmer on your stove, but like right above simmer. And there she will sit. And then just let it do its thing. And when your rice is done, serve over rice. That's it. Pretty sure I could go into more things, but I mean, that's pretty much it. More importantly, more lemongrass. You need like, you saw those big stalks I had? You want like 8 or 9 of those, because by the time you peel everything off and get them cut down, you want them in here. Only other thing is when you're done, when you're serving it to somebody, if you want to be nice, use some tongs and take the lemongrass out, because you cannot eat lemongrass. I mean, you can. You'll just be sitting there chewing like a horse for a minute. It's good, but you don't want somebody to have to worry about that. Yep, and then just let it go. And there you go. That's it. Thai chicken curry.